Despite improvement in the management of RA over the past 20 years, there are patients who are not being optimally treated. That's why we're seeking to change the RA narrative by understanding why barriers to optimal management remain and developing solutions to create change within the RA community. To determine how to better address this challenge, Pfizer created an advisory panel of 39 physicians and patient advocacy group representatives from across the globe. The first step of the initiative was to create 2 complementary surveys to obtain perspectives of adults living with RA and physicians and to understand the disconnects between the 2 groups across multiple aspects of RA disease management.
The most interesting finding is the fact that there's a great gap between the perspective of the patients and the doctors.
Patients do not want to ask many questions to physicians because they think that it may impact the care.
62% of patients with RA report feeling uncomfortable raising concerns and fears with their physician, while nearly 1 in 3 patients with RA worry that if they ask too many questions, they might be seen as a difficult patient.
The single most surprising, compelling point to me was that people with arthritis are sometimes afraid to be open with their doctor. They feel like if they're honest and they raise concerns, it's going to make the doctor think they're a problem patient and perhaps make the relationship worse going forward.
"66% of patients say they feel good enough, even though RA still affects their daily life. 70% of physicians say their patients often settle for a treatment that only makes them feel good enough.
One of the surprising findings for me was that there is this disconnect between what the patient is reporting and what the rheumatologist is observing. So the rheumatologist might say that the patient's disease activity is quite high, so their condition is quite active, but the patient will come in and say, no, I'm satisfied with what I'm experiencing. I think that message really struck home with me is because even after living with this disease for 40 years, I still do that.
One of the RA narrative's goals is to ensure that people feel empowered to aim for more and aren't settling. People living with RA who are engaged in making decisions tend to be more satisfied with their experience than those who are not as engaged.
It becomes critically important for the patients to be educated about their disease, and more important, for them to develop the effective communication skills with their healthcare provider, and also for the healthcare provider to be an active listener to their patient.
74% of physicians believe that developing a disease management plan with their patients is a key to success. Yet, only 31% of RA patients report having developed such a plan.
因為有效嘅病人同醫生嘅溝通係非常之重要嘅，因為呢個係能夠令到病人係能夠參與喺佢嗰個治療計劃嘅制定，而呢樣嘢亦直接影響到個病人咧係咪能夠去有效地去採用呢啲咁嘅治療方法。
Although most physicians are likely discussing both setting goals and establishing disease management plans, patients may not be aware this has taken place. This gap may be due to differences in terminology used by patients and physicians. Approximately half of the surveyed patients are worried that their RA will negatively affect their overall quality of life or have stopped participating in certain activities. However, physicians are more likely to discuss side effects and their patients' ability to adhere to their prescribed medication regimen than they are to discuss quality of life issues for their patients.
I've taken away from this is really to have a comfortable environment where patients have an opportunity to voice their opinion in terms of goal setting for their rheumatoid arthritis, given that it's a chronic disease, and the goals that I may have for their disease management may not necessarily align for various reasons with the goals that patients have.
The surveys revealed the need for a joint commitment to improve dialogue between physicians and patients.
L'ideale sarebbe riuscire a portare questi risultati all'esterno e l'ideale sarebbe farlo tutti insieme, reumatologi e pazienti, perché solo uniti, solo in un rapporto di vera collaborazione tra medico, paziente, associazioni di pazienti, si riesce a risolvere il problema che oggi abbiamo.
Despite the reality of these disconnects, we're encouraged that the RA NarRAtive surveys open a path forward to better care. A strong relationship between patient and physician can improve RA management. Now it's time to bridge the gaps between beliefs and practices and to center RA management more directly on the patient.
Visit Pfizer.com/RA narrative to learn more.